Ever since I was a fan of hip hop, I've always heard through the grapevine that Lil Wayne's mixtapes are the pinnacle. When I was in high school, I always heard kids say that his rapping is like nothing they've ever heard. Wayne was always described as an elite MC that has the ability to put words together like no other rapper. This is what earned him the stamp of the best rapper alive, which also has something to do with him giving himself this title as well. But with all that being said, I'm about to truly see if these titles are accurate as I embark on the exciting task of listening to every official Lil Wayne mixtape.
No, I'm Weezy Ana, Apple and Eagle, packing them heaters, that's Blocker.
This is the beginning stage of the mixtape version of Lil Wayne. He showcased his abilities greatly as his flows and lyrics are infectious throughout this project. The members of Sqad Up did an amazing job as well. The beat selection was perfect for their styles, and there are also good original instrumentals.
If you know somebody hotter than me, you don't know shit. Little Weezy, bitch, I'm focused.
Although a lot of songs on this mixtape appeared on Sqad Up 1, they seem to be remastered, which makes the quality of them better. This also made it to where I now like one of the songs I didn't like on Sqad Up 1. The newer tracks are great as the Sqad Up members continue to showcase their incredible rap abilities.
From the slums to them industry club jams, I keep it jumping, super my front man, because I gotta.
The third mixtape in the Sqad Up series is filled with tracks from the first installment. Most of the tracks that reappear on this project are songs I didn't care for on the Sqad Up 1 mixtape. The newer songs on this project are also not that good. The only saving grace is that some tracks from the previous mixtape are enjoyable, and I only like one new song off this project. Other than that, this mixtape is pretty useless if you already listened to Sqad Up 1 and 2.
My man like ill, how high is he? Real high, my man high as can be, but Lil Pop is still got.
This mixtape is incredible as Sqad Up provides great performances throughout. They adapt to every beat except for one, which is a Wayne solo track. This isn't a big deal, as this mixtape is great from start to finish.
I got that chrome sitting on my home. Get in and roll, let me cement this shit in your soul. And I'm
This mixtape sort of felt empty compared to the other Sqad Ups. The Sqad Up members feel absent on a lot of tracks, but although this is the case, there are still a lot of good tracks on this project. Wayne raps on most of the songs and his performances are good for the most part, but although this is the case, a lot of tracks didn't stand out as they're just passively good.
bitch, I got my bang, bang, I'm about to pop something. I got my bang, my name is Weezy, I'm about to pop.
This mixtape severely lacks the same energy as the other Sqad Up mixtapes. This is mainly due to the group losing their natural chemistry they had on previous mixtapes. A lot of performances are very dull, as if they were obligated to go rap in the studio. There are also quality issues on certain tracks. All of this made for an overall bad listening experience for me, but although there is a lot of crap, there are some gems, like the last freestyle track from the artist Dizzy.
Cause when I come, I be like, give me that bitch fool. This is an old school full-time jack move, and I be Jack the Ripper.
This is a decent Sqad Up mixtape. It's a major improvement from the previous project as there are more enjoyable tracks and performances. The chemistry of the members is intact as they provide good performances together on this mixtape. But although this project is a major improvement, it's just decent overall. Half of the tracks aren't that interesting as it feels like the Sqad Up members are losing their steam. The other half consists of enjoyable tracks and good performances. But although the performances are good, a lot of these tracks didn't stand out except for one, which is a solo freestyle track from the artist Dizzy. All in all, this is a decent Sqad Up mixtape.
I shine hard and I be flossing very sweet, but I'm like Iverson, dog. I be ballin' but very street. Keep my name out your yapper.
This is an interesting mixtape that consists of Wayne rapping all the way through, with little breaks in between. The good of this is that you witness Wayne's passion and ability to rap. The bad is that you also witness his fatigue, which leads to his flow not sounding appealing on a handful of tracks. He also takes breaks in between tracks, which is understandable. The downside to this is that he doesn't rap on certain instrumentals that fit his style, as he's too tired to do so. Although flaws exist, Wayne still provides good performances which led to a lot of enjoyable tracks. This mixtape serves as a prequel to Wayne's breakout release, The Carter. With this being said, the many flaws that appear from that project appear on this mixtape. The tracks on this project are scraps from the Carter album, which consists of the same issues I had with that project. Wayne's flow and lyrics aren't fully refined, which leads to tracks being boring as they drag for a long time. His constant gun bars don't help, which leads to songs becoming tiresome quickly. But although there are many flaws on this mixtape, Wayne still provides a handful of tracks with great concepts. The production on these songs are great as well. There are also songs on this mixtape that would appear on the Carter album that I like a lot more on this project, as they have that mixtape feel to them. It just feels like a deluxe edition to the Carter because of all of the scrap songs. In conclusion, this is a decent project that consists of some good tracks.
In the drop, you find me. On my way to get you, 'cause I got you, mommy. I know you got some issues trying to.
This mixtape is more of a compilation album that consists of various performances from singers and rappers. They make up the majority of this project, and they did a phenomenal job. Wayne also provides solo tracks that are great, and he also assists the featured artists exceptionally. There are countless songs on this project that are very catchy, and the production is another highlight as it matches well with the various talents of Lil Wayne and the guest features. This is an amazing mixtape overall, as it's filled with top-notch performances.
What up, world? You see me doing my thing, don't worry about the bang. I keep it like a sleep. Oh, yeah. What up, girl?
This mixtape is filled with great performances from Lil Wayne. You can sense his hunger and determination as he provides elite flows and lyricism. The instrumentals from the other artists fits his style exceptionally, and the original tracks are amazing as well. The featured artists assisted Wayne greatly, with the main highlight being the singing performances from the male vocalist Real. In conclusion, this is a great mixtape that consists of Wayne providing a hungry rap style.
When they hear that Lil Weezy, all the dope boys go crazy. Yeah. And watch the dope boys go crazy.
This mixtape holds some really great performances from Lil Wayne. The highlights of this project are the tracks that consist of him providing passionate performances. He talks about his rough upbringing on these tracks, which led to him showcasing his pain through his vocals. Another thing Wayne did well on this mixtape is adapt to the popular instrumentals at the time. His flows and lyrics are infectious, which leads to an all-around great listening experience. Another great thing about this project is the fact that it's hosted by DJ Khaled. His hype vocals are a great touch to this project, as he did a phenomenal job hyping up Wayne during his performances.
So now I'm burying the burner in the bomber. I carry the concerns of my mama.
This mixtape is the beginning of many series that we will come to know today. Wayne definitely continues to showcase his abilities, which involve him adapting to a lot of different instrumentals. Although his performances are good for the most part, a lot of tracks really didn't stand out. Another downside to this project is the performances from Lil Wayne's new Young Money crew. The tracks they're featured on contain uninteresting performances except for one, but besides the flaws, this is still a good mixtape, as the majority of the tracks are really good.
I'm so sick, I go to the hospital when I don't get fixed, I get licked by the brain.
This mixtape doesn't actually feel like a mixtape. A lot of songs that appear on this project comes from the mixtape to dedication. This isn't an issue, as these tracks feel more refined, and they don't have that mixtape feel to them. This mixtape feels more like an album, as there are no interruptions between production and performances. Young Money collectively provided amazing performances. They have great chemistry, and their solo tracks are incredible for the most part. Mac Main and Currency impressed me the most, as their solo tracks are great. Wayne still showcases his infectious flows and incredible lyricism. The only downsides of this project are some of the boring and uninteresting performances from Young Money, but this didn't affect this mixtape too much, as there are countless bangers, and the newly refined songs from the dedication mixtape are really good.
She see me in the coupe, I put the pedal to the metal. If your boy want a tip, I put the rattle to the tatter. Everybody's...
This mixtape holds some of Wayne and Young Money's most creative songs. The production and performances are captivating, which involves the group providing unique flows. Mac Main provides unique singing and rap vocals on the song Daydreaming. Dizzy presents an incredible performance on the song Downtown, which involves him cleverly utilizing the sample of the song 1,000 Miles from the artist Vanessa Carlton. Wayne and Currency provide amazing back and forth flows on the song Trigger Man, which has that old school New Orleans bounce feel to it. Another amazing thing about this project is that Wayne's flow and lyricism improved to a high degree. His flow is at its peak, and he's mastered the ability to provide good metaphors and punchlines. His style is enjoyable all around. But although there's a lot of good on this mixtape, there are some songs that were uninteresting due to the performances and production. All in all, this is an amazing mixtape, as it holds a ton of creativity.
Chip on my shoulder, toast on the waist, no holster, strolling like I'm about to tip over.
This mixtape consists of unreleased tracks that didn't make it on the Carter 1 album. Out of the 17 tracks, 9 of them are new songs, while the rest of the tracks already appeared on the mixtapes The Drought 1 and Sqad Up 1. Some tracks are even on the album The Carter 1, which sort of defeats the purpose of it being an unreleased songs mixtape. But with that being said, there are most certainly some gems on this project. The original version of the song The Heat is really good, with Gutta Gutta being a great addition. The R&B features on the song She Feelin' Me and Get It Poppin' are very catchy, and the Young Money crew assisted Wayne greatly on the song Bust Something. Some of the newer tracks were just okay, as they lack replay value. That's actually a big majority of this mixtape, as it contains a lot of mediocre tracks, along with songs that I've already heard countless times. In conclusion, this is a decent mixtape that's filled with recycled tracks, along with some new hidden gems.
They call me Mr. Carter. I kissed the daughter of the dead's forehead. I killed the father.
This mixtape holds hidden gems from Wayne. These tracks consist of catchy production and elite performances from Wayne that showcases his incredible flows and lyricism. The downsides of this mixtape are the recycled tracks from the album The Carter 2, along with some songs having uninteresting production and performances. There are 2 instances where Wayne provides underwhelming performances with guest features. Other tracks that I didn't like consist of lackluster production and more uninteresting verses from Lil Wayne. But although this is the case, there is more good than bad on this project, as I like most of the songs. In conclusion, this is a pretty good mixtape, as it holds a lot of gems.
My name Wayne and I came to party. My watch a icy and my chain a frosty. The bitches like me.
This mixtape is mediocre for the most part. There are a ton of lackluster performances from Wayne and the featured artists. There are also instances of Lil Wayne being outshined by R&B acts, as their performances are the best part of the songs. Another reason why I think I didn't enjoy this mixtape is because it doesn't feel like a mixtape. It feels like it consists of unreleased songs that were supposed to appear on previous projects. This is why a lot of this project feels like it's composed of throwaway tracks that are mediocre. But through all the mediocrity, there are some highlights. The most notable tracks for me are the live performances from Wayne. He performs 2 of his most notable tracks from his album The Carter 2, and it sounds amazing overall. You can hear the passion and pain in his vocals, as his delivery is immaculate. All in all, this is a decent mixtape with a lot of uninteresting tracks, with a ton of passable ones.
Packing them heaters in the heat of the moment. Strapping them killers in the seat of that Honda. We gon' run.
This mixtape is very underwhelming. Lil Wayne and Juelz Santana barely have chemistry, as their styles don't blend well together throughout this project. It honestly feels like this was just business for the both of them, as their performances feel low effort. Juelz Santana is definitely the weakest link on this project, as his flows and lyrics are annoying on a lot of tracks. He has this habit of repeating the same word in his rhymes, and his delivery is unappealing, as he likes putting extra emphasis on words. His style definitely wasn't pleasant throughout this project, and it felt like Wayne was just clocking in his verses with little to no effort. But although this is the case, there are still instances where Lil Wayne and Juelz provided good performances. Another major flaw in this project is the production. A lot of instrumentals have a basic feel to them, which adds to the mediocrity of this project. All in all, this is an okay mixtape, as there are some good songs, but most of it is underwhelming with lackluster production and performances.
Message to my darling, ever so precious. My girl, my baby, Cash Money Records.
This mixtape is a great blend of tracks from his previous mixtapes and albums. Some tracks that appear on this mixtape comes from the album Like Father Like Son from Birdman and Lil Wayne, and the second installment of the W. Carter mixtapes. This is both good and bad, as there are some tracks that I don't care for from the Like Father Like Son album, while the tracks on the W. Carter mixtapes are newly refined and sound a lot better. There are also some new hidden gems on this mixtape that shouldn't go unnoticed. Wayne provides very passionate performances on the tracks My Girl and For the Haters, over exciting hard-hitting production. Birdman still showcases the flaws of his repetitious flow that involves him reciting the N-word after every bar. This is another pro and con on this mixtape, as it doesn't bother me on certain tracks. Another highlight on this mixtape is DJ Khaled being the host. From listening to Wayne's mixtapes that feature DJ Khaled, I've come to realize that he's one of the best mixtape hosts of all time, as his vocals are very hype and intriguing. He always does a great job hyping up Wayne and Birdman on this project. All in all, this is a really good mixtape that holds a lot of hidden gems.
I'll grow my patio, let that automatic go. Test me when I'm chilling and I kill you from a patio.
Wayne delivers a lot of great verses on this mixtape, which consists of him rapping over popular instrumentals during this time. He did exceptionally well rapping over them Franchise Boys' Oh I Think They Like Me on the track They Still Like Me, Notorious B.I.G.'s Spit Your Game on the track Spitter, and my personal favorite is him rapping over Ludacris' song Georgia on the song Georgia Bush, which consists of him dissing President George Bush, as he did a poor job helping the people in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. Some flaws on this mixtape are the performances from the guest appearances, with perfect examples being Freeway Willie the Kid, Detroit Red, and Juice on the song Cannon, and Pharrell's very pretentious verse on the song Getting Some Head. Wayne also did a poor job rapping over some of these instrumentals with lackluster bars and delivery. On tracks like Riding with the AK and This Is What I Call Her, he didn't do these instrumentals justice, as the original version of these songs are more superior. But all in all, this was a pretty good mixtape, as the tracks that I did like have very high replay value.
I know you see the drop, cause getting money is what we on. Ride and drop the top in the winter with the heat on.
This mixtape is incredible from start to finish. Wayne's rap style is compelling as his flows are infectious and his lyricism is entertaining. At the start of this mixtape, Wayne tells the listener to have fun. Fun is exactly what this mixtape is, as Wayne provides exciting performances throughout. He raps over popular instrumentals at the time, and he makes them his own. This is just amazing how his rapping is on this mixtape. I will even go as far as to say that this is the best mixtape I've heard from Wayne thus far, as there isn't a dull moment. In conclusion, this mixtape is perfection, as Wayne's flow and lyricism is impeccable.
I don't know when you've been told.
This mixtape was a total letdown, as Wayne relies too much on auto-tune. His auto-tune style doesn't sonically sound appealing overall, which leads to him ruining a lot of tracks on this mixtape. Another issue with this creative choice is that it doesn't blend well with the featured artists that provide more traditional rap styles. Speaking of features, this mixtape is filled with verses from the Young Money artist, and I was disappointed for the most part. Gutta Gutta style completely diminished on this project, as his verses are uninteresting. Jay Mill's voice is very generic, and his lyrics are cheesy. Nicki Minaj has a solo track, which is ruined by her terrible auto-tune singing. The only two Young Money artists that impressed me were Tyga and Drake, but the sad thing about this is that their performances are ruined by Wayne's auto-tune flow. But all isn't terrible, as Wayne's creative style worked on some tracks, but this definitely wasn't the majority of this project. All in all, this is a bad mixtape in my opinion, as the performances are mediocre and uninteresting.
Come on this Bugatti, I'm strong in this Bugatti. 2V8 ain't no such thing as driving calm in this Bugatti.
Wayne provides consistently good performances on this mixtape. I was more impressed by his flows, as his lyrics didn't blow me away as they did on previous mixtapes. Don't get me wrong, his lyricism is still there, but his bars didn't wow me like they did on the mixtape Lil Weezy Ana Volume 1 and the Drought 3. Now by me saying this doesn't mean I'm discrediting his abilities, but it's definitely noticeable. He adapts well to a lot of different hip-hop instrumentals, which is fascinating and exciting to hear. One major flaw for me is when Wayne raps over mainstream pop instrumentals, as the sound of that music doesn't appeal to me. Surprisingly, Wayne doesn't do a bad job on these tracks, as he adapts to them fairly well, but overall, it's something I won't come back to. There's an instance where his style fits perfectly over this type of production, which is the track Sweet Dreams. This is mainly due to it originally being a Beyonce song that involves her singing really well. We also get an incredible performance from Nicki Minaj on this track, as her passionate delivery is amazing. In conclusion, this is a really good mixtape, but although this is the case, a lot of songs didn't blow me away for reasons previously mentioned.
All black fofo, do you want foreplay? I'm going at your face like all you up.
This mixtape is an incredible showcasing of Wayne's fascinating style. This is the pure essence of Wayne, as he provides multiple unique flows and lyrics. He adapts to the instrumentals exceptionally, as he's mastered his flow. There aren't really any negatives on this project, as I like every song except for one, and I didn't think that that particular song was bad, as his flow just didn't appeal to me sonically. The featured artists also assisted him greatly, as they match Wayne's unique style exceptionally well. In conclusion, this is an amazing mixtape, as Wayne provides great performances throughout.
She's so sophisticated, she'll catch a nigga nothing then refrigerated. I wear a rubber.
This mixtape consists of elite rapping from Lil Wayne. His multiple flows and animated delivery are incredible, and his lyricism is top notch. This mixtape reminds me a lot of the Drought 3, as Wayne's style is fun to listen throughout this project. His flow and lyrics are very engaging due to the countless punchlines and metaphors. Another incredible thing about this project is the beat selection. The hard trap and drill instrumentals blend remarkably with Wayne's overall style, which makes for a highly enjoyable listening experience. All the guest features did a phenomenal job assisting Wayne, as they matched his energy exceptionally. A lot of the features on this mixtape have amazing performances of their own, which is due to the influence of Wayne's elite style. In conclusion, this is a flawless mixtape in my opinion, as I enjoyed every song.
And I got news for all these snitches. Tell them face stop bitching. If pussy lips could talk, I go down there like.
Wayne took a step back on this mixtape. He seems more reserved, which explains the lackluster performances on this project. Another element of this involves him letting rappers in his camp shine, which is underwhelming for the most part. A large majority of performances from the featured artists lack excitement, as they are mediocre at best. This also goes for the well-named featured artists, as their performances aren't anything too special either. Another flaw in this mixtape is its quality. Some tracks feel like they weren't engineered fully, which brings the value of this project down a great deal. This mixtape also holds some of Wayne's worst performances that involve him singing and rapping. His flows and the production choices are very weird on these tracks. Speaking of production, a few tracks have original instrumentals, which are decent for the most part. This mixtape is just mediocre all around, as it severely lacks excitement. But all isn't bad, as there are still some good tracks. This mixtape also holds a gem that involves Lil Wayne and T.I. providing elite rapping performances. But all in all, this is just an okay mixtape. The main issue with this mixtape is the sound of Lil Wayne's voice. His flows aren't bad, it's just how he delivers his lyrics. His voice is very screechy, which ruins a lot of songs, and when it's combined with autotune, it almost sounds like he's crying, which is very awkward. The instrumentals of this time aren't too exciting, as a lot of them consist of a generic trap style. The featured artists aren't that great either, as they provide lackluster performances. But although I didn't like this mixtape for the most part, there are 2 tracks that stood out, which didn't contain Wayne's unamusing style. But all in all, this wasn't a really good mixtape for me, as Wayne's style is unappealing throughout, and most of the songs are boring.
My name is Weezy Baby and I'm high.
This mixtape is filled with unamusing performances. Wayne resorts back to using autotune for the majority of this mixtape, and it's underwhelming overall. I also don't like how he delivers his lyrics, which consist of his signature screechy style from the previous mixtape. Another flaw on this mixtape is that the songs are boring to listen to, as Wayne's flows and lyrics aren't exciting. His rhymes are basic and repetitive, which adds to the dreadfulness of this project. It was honestly torture getting through this mixtape, as it's long in length. The performances from the featured artists are forgettable, which isn't a surprise, as this has become a norm for Wayne's later mixtapes. In conclusion, this is a horrible mixtape, as Wayne's overall style is boring and unamusing throughout.
Speakers in the bed sound like I got band help. Beating down your block, leave you with a damn.
This mixtape was frustrating for me, as T-Pain provides great rap performances throughout, while Wayne provides horrible autotune performances. T-Pain's aggressive flow works well on this project, and it would have been awesome if Wayne matched his energy. Thankfully, there are a few tracks that don't feature Lil Wayne, which is the highlight of this project. On the tracks that don't feature Wayne, T-Pain showcases an incredible rap style, and he also presents creative autotune vocals. The concepts on these tracks are another highlight, as T-Pain talks about various topics that involve the envious mentality of people, along with him talking about the many hardships in life. There are only 2 songs where I like T-Pain and Lil Wayne together, which is a terrible ratio. But just as I said before, this is made up by the incredible performances and solo tracks from T-Pain. In conclusion, this is a decent mixtape, as half of it consists of unamusing performances from Lil Wayne and great performances from T-Pain.
You don't even believe in Jesus. Why you ain't here just niggas? She ain't never swallowed semen.
Wayne picks it back up on this mixtape as he provides good performances throughout, but although this is the case, notable flaws still exist, which mainly has to do with his unamusing style on certain tracks. I can't tolerate his overly hype animated flows, and his auto-tune singing is hit or miss. These later mixtapes severely lack the hunger he had on previous ones, which is understandable. He really doesn't have anything to prove, and I appreciate him for continuing to release music. This mixtape didn't annoy me like the previous ones, which is a major plus. With that being said, there are just passively good performances on this project, as nothing really wowed me except for a very good singing and rapping performances from Nicki Minaj. Other than that, this mixtape is pretty good, but it still has notable flaws.
Looking in the mirror, all I see is money. Well, if I was blind, all I hear is running.
At this point, I'm just commending Wayne for continuing to do what he loves, and I like the fact that this mixtape came about because of a misread text from DJ Drama. This highlights how easily Wayne is motivated to get in the studio. But with that being said, this mixtape is very lackluster, as it's filled with unamusing performances from Wayne. The times are over where Wayne provides intriguing rap flows with a ton of clever punchlines. Instead, we have to grow accustomed to unappealing animated hype flows and mid to low level bars. Wayne explains this style change on the intro track, as he states that he's ran out of bars. But his lack of bars is never the issue for me, as I lean more towards creative appealing styles. This aspect is almost non-existent on this mixtape. The featured artists don't have memorable performances, and there isn't a highlight track nor performance from Lil Wayne. I like how Wayne basically says that he's burnt out on the intro track, which is definitely the feel of this mixtape. But even though most of this project is underwhelming, there are still a couple of tracks that I like. In conclusion, this isn't a really good mixtape, as a lot of the performances miss the mark.
Pull up, pull out, cut loose, run through one clip, unclip, new clip, action, part 2.
This is another underwhelming mixtape that consists of unamusing performances. Wayne's flows are bad, and his auto-tune singing is worse than ever. The guest features provide better performances throughout this mixtape, and there are quite a bit of tracks where his children rap. I'd honestly rather hear his kids rap, as his overall style is unbearable on this mixtape. I was initially excited to see that this mixtape was hosted by DJ Khaled, as he did an incredible job on Wayne mixtapes in the past. Even he couldn't hype up Wayne's countless whack performances on this project. All in all, this is Wayne's worst mixtape so far, as there is very little enjoyment.
All my neighbors and the brothers longest cables, left some hundreds on the table, that was our paper towers, left my number for the...
On the B-side of an already bad mixtape, it's more of the same. Wayne's flows and lyrics aren't up to par to his previous projects. This has actually been a recurring theme for the past 6 or 7 mixtapes. Gone are the glory days where Wayne showcased compelling flows and lyricism. What we're introduced to now is bad autotune performances, weak flows, and lackluster lyrics. His style is just as boring as it was on the first installment of this mixtape, and there isn't any reason for me to return to this project. Even the songs that I did like aren't worth it, as they're just passably good. In conclusion, this is yet another dreadful mixtape from Wayne with absolutely nothing to offer.
Cold days, I be leaning, I miss Nick tripping, put the beef in the skillet, I pistol whip him, I got teeth on the glizzy like no.
Lil Wayne and Rich the Kid styles are equally unamusing on this project. There are moments where both of their styles don't work on songs, and other moments where I like one of their performances over the others. In other words, this is a very inconsistent mixtape. But with that being said, I can honestly see the potential in Lil Wayne and Rich the Kid becoming a great duo, as their styles are similar in a lot of ways. They also share the same interests, such as money and women. For this project, the execution was poor overall, which didn't lead to anything significant.
Cat hanging on that castle, oh, that cheetah, oh, I eat her like hyena coming.
Wayne proves that he can still provide incredible performances on this mixtape. He's right back on track as he presents multiple styles and flows with incredible lyricism. I don't know if he was extremely high on his previous mixtapes or what, because his efforts were poor. This mixtape is a different story, as he seems to be more focused, which led to this project having an amazing listening experience. The tracks are very structured, as there are interesting concepts that involve Wayne cleverly detailing them through his lyrics. Another highlight on this mixtape is the production, as all the instrumentals are fresh with multiple creative elements. The featured artists also provide great performances that matches well with Wayne's creative style. I'm glad that Wayne is back on track, as I started to get worried that his time might be up as far as making good music. This mixtape definitely proved me wrong, as it's highly enjoyable.
Rapping is my hobby, my house has a lobby, my bitches act snobby because I feed them thousands.
This mixtape consists of songs that were supposed to originally appear on the Carter 3. The issue was that a lot of these songs were leaked, which led to Wayne scrapping these songs in order to create the Carter 3 we know of today. A lot of Wayne fans say that if some of these tracks were never leaked, the Carter 3 would have been much better. I agree. Tracks like Kush, I'm a Beast, Diamonds and Girls, and La 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 would have made the Carter 3 flawless in my opinion. The track I Feel Like Dying is the only song that has ever made me cry, and it would have been an awesome addition to the Carter 3. But although there are some amazing tracks on this mixtape, some songs feel like they would have just been filler tracks if they would have appeared on the final cut of Carter 3. Songs like Did It Before, What He Does, Help, and Zoo all feel like mixtape tracks that sort of have the same feeling as songs from the Carter 2. But all in all, this was a great project that holds quite a bit of gems. Listening to Lil Wayne's mixtapes was an incredible experience. One thing I admire about Wayne is his love and passion for the sport of hip-hop. It seems like he's always motivated to get in the studio, which led to him creating some of the best mixtapes in the genre. His flows and lyrics are definitely amazing on these mixtapes. I completely understand the hype, and I'm glad that I've experienced this for myself. But although this is the case, this same passion Lil Wayne has also led to a lot of horrible mixtapes with nothing to offer. It's amazing to me that this guy has some of the greatest mixtapes while also having some of the worst mixtapes. I don't know what was going on after Dedication 4, but the quality of his rapping definitely dipped. But I'm happy that his mixtape series ended on a good note, as Fix Before the 6 showcases that he can still make high quality music with an intriguing style that consists of multiple enjoyable flows and lyricism. Wayne has recited some of my favorite punchlines in rap, and here's just a few that completely knocked my socks off.
My pocket's fat like Jack Black. If I go broke, I'm a Jack White. Homeboy got a mind that I'm at when he find. I am a vegetarian, man. I only eat meat. White diamonds, vanilla ice. Even deaf bitches say hi to me. She tell her blind bitches, she say I gotta see. These niggas think they the shit. These niggas perfume. She swallowed all my kids, bitch, we could've had a family.
If you're a fan of hip-hop, I highly advise you to listen to Wayne's mixtapes, as it's definitely a staple of elite rapping. I'm glad that I finally came around, as his mixtapes are truly gems. I can't wait to hear what Wayne does next, and I hope that he goes into his next project just as he did for the mixtape Fix Before the 6. With that being said, these are my thoughts on Lil Wayne's entire mixtape discography. Stay tuned for more videos like this, as I still have a ton of music to listen to. Until then, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Gully Boy signing out.